Welcome. Have you ever been stuck in a season where it's like you're kind of going through the same patterns and not really moving forward in the direction you want? Maybe you're in a place like that now. So spring is the perfect time, in my view, to move toward that and try to break out of a cycle like that. So we're going to try to dive into that in this session. I'd be happy, of course, also to take your questions. And grab a coffee or tea, water, your beverage of choice. We can do some fasting together this morning for a little bit while we move in this direction. I hope you're doing well. Let me know either live in the chat or in the comments where you're coming in from. Who do we have here? And how are you doing? Let me know. Had the week off from the live session last week. We had a spring break trip and got out of town a bit, so that was pretty nice. Went down to St. Louis and saw the arch and that sort of stuff. So get out of town. There's a good way to break some patterns and get some fresh thinking. So spring, if we think spring, I was just doing, we have a metaphor. Is it a metaphor or it is what it is? Spring cleaning, right? I spent most of my day cleaning yesterday. Deep cleaning. Spring, especially in the north, right? We got snow. The snow is melting. We're watching it flow away. So, spring cleaning, I love as a connection into a fasting practice. I did some videos, I think, in the fall on autophagy. So autophagy is the cellular cleaning process. It doesn't really run in the body while we're eating. Body's got other stuff to do. It's got to process all the food. But we take some space from that. We shut that process down. We go into a cleaning mode in the cells. Why do we spring clean our house? Okay, it's hard in the winter, especially if it's frozen and cold. It's like if stuff is building up, you gotta dust, you gotta clean everything out. That's what is happening in our cells. So when I say spring into fasting, spring into a time where you're giving some attention to our cellular function. That can help you lose weight, absolutely. Can help improve energy, absolutely. So, got a lot of good metaphors for spring in the body with fasting. I put a video out this week on fasting, a spring fasting cycle. And, the metaphor there is just to really think of the trees, right? Trees are kind of hibernating over the winter. They're fasting over the winter. Sleeping, just like we sleep overnight. Spring is coming, right? We see the buds on the trees. And leaves how the tree eats, right? So it's spring, the tree is waking up, the tree is working, but no energy's coming in, right? It's got to build the leaves before it can use the leaves to get the energy. And so this is like most people, when I'm talking to people about fasting, you can fast at any time of the day. If you're just starting with a simple 16-8 sort of pattern, you can fast in the morning, you can fast in the evening. Most people want to do it in the morning. Knock out that breakfast, have that open space in the morning, get to work, have a coffee, tea, it's a pleasant space, focused space. That's like the tree in my observation. Trees getting up in the morning, it's morning, spring. build those leaves so that it can get food later on, especially toward the summer, right? And then summer is about growth. So spring, how do we set ourselves up? We're getting our work done. We're utilizing that root energy that we have, giving that space so that we can have flourishing in the summer. I love that model. So can we look at the trees, model after the tree, and have a spring fasting space that's bringing life, vitality, renewal. Spring's about remake everything new. So if we want to remake some things new this spring, I guess the place to start would be like, well, what do you want to make new? Are there specific patterns that you want to change? You know, when we think about things are the way they are for certain reasons. Like, if there's something you're not happy about, you say, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to improve my metabolism, blood sugar. I'm just trying to feel better, I'm trying to have more energy. Are there certain patterns that you can identify that have led things to be the way they are? And can we use the spring to break out of that? Spring is here to support us, right? The days are getting longer. It's lighter, like it's literally lighter. And so if we want to be lighter, right? That's like weight loss, but it's also like the attitude, right? We want to take a notch down on the stress. Definitely want to do that. Take a notch down on the stress, take a notch down on the intensity as much as we can. Move in a direction of lighter. That's a lesson from the spring. So we want to make a fresh start. We want to take a look at our patterns. And we say we want to change patterns. Maybe we just change one. Let's say somebody has a pattern they know is not serving them. This is what we want to do. We want to identify the patterns that aren't serving us. We want to realize we aren't defined by our patterns. I think a lot of times we have a pattern and people say, that's just me. Like, that's what I do. That's who I am. But our patterns do not have to define us. I guess they can define us, but they don't have to. And even if they have, they don't have to continue doing it. One strategy I was thinking of this week, how do you change patterns? Patterns can be very difficult to change. It was reminding me of a quote. I should have looked it up. But the quote, I don't know who said it, is basically, in the beginning, we shape our habits, right? But in the end, our habits shape us. Isn't that the case? So we want to shape our habits so that as they cycle back around, they're shaping us in the direction that we want to be shaped. One way to move forward and do that is to just change anything, Start building the change muscle. Maybe the root pattern that needs to change is some sort of, snacking pattern, some sort of food, unhealthy eating. Okay, it can be a hard pattern to break. Start making any change, right? Like here, spring, it's warmer, it's lighter. This is a season it's easier to get more active in general. At least if you're in a cold climate for the winter, can be a barrier. Can you get outside? Can you start doing a walking walking, such a beautiful thing. Or, if it's the gym, if it's swimming, if it's getting on a bike, if it's any sort of activity, right? Start an activity. There's a great mental space. Doesn't have to be intense, doesn't have to be a burden. Like everything I try to say, only move towards something if it can help lower your stress. Like if you say, oh my gosh, it's too stressful to think of going to a gym. Well, don't do that. Can you just get out for a walk for a little bit? Like, I would highly encourage that. I think walking is the world's healthiest activity. So get after a walk, open up a thoughtful space. That's a change. That's something that you can be moving toward. And then while you're in that space, can that change, whatever it is, can you use that to help you move toward maybe the change that you're really looking to make this spring? Maybe it's a journaling practice. Maybe it's a writing practice, just to start writing about the direction that you want to go. To be in the spring and say, hey, we need a fresh start. Maybe write that out. My patterns don't define me. Like, that would be a beautiful thing to write. Write out what they are. Like, what is the routine? What are the structures that you've put in place, for your day, for your cycle and routine? If you're trying to lose weight, that would be my recommendation, though. Move toward a fasting practice. That's what I try to help people see. Fasting practice can be very simple. It doesn't have to be long, and it certainly doesn't have to be arduous. I would never have somebody move into something really that is a struggle. Struggle is something that I want to try to help people avoid, really, in any way. A fasting practice is lightness. It is an openness. It's just the mindset to be open to the energy that is in the body, to trust in the body, to realize that it is here for us, that it's a resource, that we can lean into it, and that it can power us. I want people to be empowered by it. If you're feeling empowered, pretty hard to feel burdened or struggled, like you're struggling. So if you're finding that line, I always tell people you can kind of head toward that line. You don't have to push it at that point. It's also a process. A fasting is not a thing, it's a practice or a process. And I think that's a nice way to look at it, especially practice. Can you have a spring practice that is thoughtful and gentle and slowly, step by step, moving you in a direction that you feel good about over time? Weight loss can be one goal, blood sugar another goal. Just finding clarity. A fasting space, to me, it's a contemplative space. That's why I did the session, a couple months ago on the meditation, right? To me, fasting and meditation is just, they're twins, Open physical space, that's fasting. Open mental space, that's a meditation. That's giving processing space for the thoughts, the emotions. And then you think, this is kind of taking it, I think, to the next level. Like, we're a human being. What is that? It's a body. It's a mind. The mind is the body. The body is the mind. It's one. We're one. So as we have a physical open space for the body, that also is open space for the mind. And as we create the open space for the mind, that is the mind is the body. I think anyway. I'm not really a philosopher, but it makes sense. So I see them very connected. That would be a great way to have a fresh start in the spring. So if someone out there is listening, they say, "Oh, Dr. Z, I'm not an exerciser. I don't want to start walking. I don't want to do any of that. I'm not totally into the fasting. I struggle to do it. How do I move forward? I'm so stuck." Well, the meditation then, I would say that can be a great first step. Opening the mental space. It's like a stepping stone, right, to opening the physical space. Maybe it's just throwing on a simple little track of music like this. I went through that on that meditation session. If a meditation, to sit with yourself, that can be an uncomfortable space if you're not used to it. Music can really help you in a space like that. We're so distracted, so much stress, pressure, demands coming at us. If you're struggling with anxiety or you're feeling overwhelmed by it, throw on a little track like this. I'll put a link in the description. This is a channel I found in the fall, Kulu. Guy just playing thoughtful little melodies. That's the sort of thing that can help you either way, on each side, physical side, mental side, to open up some space. Some pleasant music, get the mind trained on that. That can be a crutch for a fasting space. I'm trying to teach my body how to do this. When we're not used to anything, this is the thing with change, right? Change is uncertain. Change is difficult. Change causes uncertainty. Change can make us feel stressed, can lead to anxiety. Easier feels like the safer option not to change. This is one of the big barriers, right? It's easier in the short term not to change. So taking that first step out. In the case of fasting, that first step is actually doing nothing. Here, we're doing it right now. We're sitting, we're having a calorie-free beverage. How do you pass that space? Maybe you're just starting out, you're taking the first step, or maybe the step for you, say, hey, I've been doing this for a while, but maybe it's time to take a next step to open up some more space. Create the environment for yourself that is pleasant, supportive, encouraging, and helps you to do that. To me, it's a music. Maybe to you, it's something else. Getting out in nature, especially in the spring. See some flowers coming up. See the leaves coming out. See the warm sun. All these things are supportive. They're all sending the same message, right? It's a new day. It's a new season. It's a fresh start. It's time to move in a direction of warmth and light and growth. certainly don't have to be perfect. I guess I would say that. Sometimes I think we put so much pressure on ourselves. Say, oh, I'm moving in a new direction. Like, there's certainly something to be said for like a hard right turn, and like really going after it. But most of the time, I think it's better just ease towards something, take the pressure off. And this is more about the mindset, When we feel like we have to be perfect, when we feel like, oh, I have to do everything all at once, that's increasing the intensity of it and the barrier to change. That makes it more difficult. I like the analogy, like, you don't have to jump right in the river, You just walk along the riverbank for a while. We're trying to reset. If you're trying to move in a new direction in the spring, use the spring. Well, spring is a process too. It isn't just one day. It's a couple months. And it's just degrees, right? So we move through the spring and we transition into the summer. That's a beautiful approach for us to take, right? We've got like 90 days to move in a new direction. A couple degrees every day. And look at the spring. It's back and forth, right? One day it's 80 degrees and then we're back to 45. So that can be like us. We can be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes people criticize that, but that's natural. That's like a dance. Resetting our perspective, it can happen one day, but it can be a process of realignment over a season. Small, consistent steps is what generally leads to a long-term change. Did you ever see it? There's a graph. You search a video, it'd be like 1% better every day. People say, I want to be dramatically better tomorrow. I want like 100% tomorrow. But it's like, if you were just 1% better every day at the beginning, it doesn't look like much, but it compounds. And you go parabolic on the back end. Just 1% better every day. So I would say move toward that this spring. 1% better every day. Or how about most days? I liked somewhere in the fall, I was talking about that quote, preservation is progress. It's okay to just maintain for a while. And that can be like within the week too. We have an overall goal in the spring, moving toward some better vision of health and wholeness. Maybe some days are just okay to stay in place, and then some days we're hitting our 1% better and moving us forward. That's a thoughtful way to go about it for the spring. All right, those are my thoughts for the day on the spring. Check out my little spring video if you're looking for kind of a thoughtful mindset. It's kind of a meditation sort of video, meditation-ish. And so I put that in the Fasting Space playlist on the channel. See if that helps you get in a good mindset of like opening up space, being like the tree, getting to the root energy, utilizing that energy to bring new life, change, something beautiful and new and refreshing into the world. So I hope those helpful thoughts for you in the week. Hope you have a great week. Send questions, reflections, thoughts, put them in the comments. Hope this spring season can be beautiful, healthy, positive, refreshing time. Thanks for connecting with me here today. Look forward to connecting with you down the road, and be well.